All right, welcome, gentlemen. Looks like we are live. All right. This is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Tennessee Auctioneer Commission. Let's go ahead and call this to order and do the roll. Chairman Randy Lowe.
Here.
Kimball Sterling.
Here.
John Thorpe.
Here.
Jeff Morris. Here. Dwayne Rogers. All right, we do have a physical quorum, so we will just do a voice vote today. We won't have to do a roll call vote for what we've grown accustomed to on our remote meetings, so that'll be pretty easy. All right, notice of meeting. Notice of the November 15, 2021 meeting of the Auctioneer Commission, including date, time, and location, has been noticed on the website since May 18, 2020. Additionally, this month's agenda has been posted on the website since November 8, 2021. For the agenda, you should have that there before you. Is there any edits, comments as regards to that? If not, then we'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda as printed. Do we have such a motion?
So moved.
All right, thank you, sir. Do we have a second? Got a second from Mr. Sterling. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, hearing none, that's approved. The August minutes. Any comments, edits as to regards to the August minutes? All right, we'll entertain a motion to approve the August minutes as written. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
All right, we got a motion from Randy Lowe and a second from Mr. Sterling. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, hearing none. Well, that's approved. We'll move on to the education review. All right, we've got 4 courses before us. Western College of Auctioneering is the first course. That's an 85-hour course, but it'll only satisfy the 50-hour requirement. Of course, as you know, our requirement is 50 hours. And so that course will be, if approved, will be for 50 hours. This course was offered as QE before until a little over a year ago. But we had all providers reapply when we cleaned up our roster by purging those inactive for the last 2 or more years. This was one of those, and so they didn't file a reapplication at the time, so they're doing that now. Then we have 3 more from the All CE from Nashville Auction School. I'll give you a moment there to look at the Western College of Auctioneering first. That starts on page 2.
Can I go ahead and make a comment?
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah, I look at this list of instructors, and I know a lot of them. Of course, Mike Brandley is one of the best teachers that we have in the NAA, and he's very, very good on law. He's a lawyer by trade, but he's also an auctioneer. Of course, David Whitaker, Emily Weirs, Camille Booker. I mean, these are all stars in NAA, and so I think this will be a very well-rounded course for our pre-licensing course for our 50 hours. So I would endorse it.
Do you make that in the form of a motion then?
Yes, I'll go ahead. I would like to make the motion that we approve this course.
All right, thank you, Mr. Morris.
Second.
Got a second from Mr. Lowe. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your comments and your background information as well. Appreciate that. Nashville Auction School. This is a CE course for 3 hours. That's on page 18. That's a hybrid course.
Tell me what that means.
Live streaming classroom is just a combination of both on this one. They're going to offer in both mediums.
And this is just a CE class, isn't it?
Correct. Yes, sir.
I would make a motion to approve it.
We have a motion from
Second.
Mr. Lowe and a second from Mr. Morris. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. There we go. All right. Moving along then, we're on page number 29. Is the second course by Nashville Auction School, Liability Insurance in 2022 and beyond. And this one is just synchronous live, so live streaming is what we're looking at on this one.
I make the motion we approve this course as well.
Got a motion from Mr. Morris and then Mr. Kimball. We've got a Kimball Sterling. We've got a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Hearing none, that was approved. All right, the third course by Nashville Auction School, that's page 39. That's for 2 hours selling firearms at auction. That's also synchronous live. Got a motion from Mr. Thorpe. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
Got a second from Mr. Morris. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. That one also approved. All right, that clears our education review. That was easy enough. I appreciate you guys really digging in and doing the labor on the front end. When we send you all those items, I know you guys carve out some time for that, and I really appreciate that. It really makes things smooth when we get here in the meeting, so thank you for that. All right. Moving on then to the director's report. Let's take a look at our budget. This won't require any action on our part. This will be for informational purposes only. All right. Document 4. Let's review the end year reserves operational budget. I don't have the education recovery fund that hasn't been finalized yet, and so that's not available today. When I get that, I'll of course share that information with you. But I do have the general operational budget, and of course our new fiscal year budget as well, trending. All right. As you'll see, 2021 overall expenditures totaled $113,547, and the revenue was $144. So we added, by the time we take out our cost backs, that gave us a surplus. So we added to our reserves in that regard. So looking pretty good. Our reserves now are sitting at $464,955.
It looks like we're holding our own, and it looks like everything's in pretty good shape. So that's a good report.
And as you can see, we're pretty lean. I mean, we're looking at, 30,000. So it wasn't a huge jump. We're pretty close to operating right there at that net neutrality. Yep, that's a good place to be. All right, let's take a look at the trend then. We did have some technology expenses that were increased due to several system enhancements. You'll notice that, and the cost was shared across all the programs. Anytime we do a core enhancement of any kind, that just gets distributed across the board. So you'll see some increase in technology there underneath auction or underneath the expenses. So right there under, I think, August is where you'll see that, both under other and technology. Those were system enhancements. So that's the uptick there, and also periodically those hit us quarterly. So about every other quarter or so, if there's been any improvements across the board for all of regulatory boards, then we'll take that hit at that moment. But other than that, I didn't see anything else that just jumped out at me. That was the only thing that I saw an uptick in. If you look down below, the trending historically to this year is pretty close on target, minus some revenue which we knew we were going to lose with the firms and the galleries. But other than that, we're doing pretty well. Just to give you the final, we've got a surplus this year of about $12,000. So, and we'll eat into that. We're going to keep it pretty close again, because we'll also be, there'll be some admin expenses as well for administration staff moving to another floor, and what'll be entailed to that. But it's, and that, again, all the boards share that. Anytime there's expenses, the admin staff expenses or core expenses, those get distributed across. Other than that, looks like we're tracking about where we need to be. Any questions or concerns in regards to the budget? All right. Hearing none, then we'll move on to, looks like the newsletter. This will require action on your part as to content. If you just, any comments as to the newsletter?
I like the section you said that, the firm license were no good anymore because everybody's still putting them in their ads. 90% of the people are. And maybe that letter will make a difference, and the people will understand what they need to do. So
That's a good point.
I really liked what you did there.
Well, when we see an uptick in that, or we try to message that periodically with all of our boards. There's changes that happen legislatively or and it's certainly to what you described, the firm and the galleries. When we see big changes like that, we try to make sure folks are looped in.
Well written and done very well.
Thank you. I'll let the folks know all up and down the chain then accordingly. Thank you, sir. Any other comments as to the newsletter today? No? Okay. All right, we'll just need a motion to approve the newsletter. Do we have such a motion?
Accept it.
All right, we got a motion from Kimball Sterling to accept the newsletter. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second from Mr. Thorpe. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, hearing none. We'll get that published on our website here shortly then. Thank you. I think we are ready for the legal portion. We don't have a legal report today. We only had one person with CE not completed when the audit was done this past quarter. So that was handled administratively per our instructions last, if you recall from our last meeting. But we were going to give a report of that on each of the legal reports going forward towards Mr. Lowe's request, and the board approved that as well. So that will appear on the legal report next meeting. But there's no other than that, there's nothing for the board to decide. So that's a good thing. But I imagine we'll have probably something for you, the next meeting. All right. So that puts us on the legislative update, and then I'll pivot here to Miss Matlock.
Good morning.
Morning.
I did have one additional legal update. In our next meeting, which I think is going to be in February of 2022, we'll have a new disciplinary counsel for the commission. Previously, our previous counsel left, and so we've had an interim. Mr. Stuart Huffman has been helping us, and I'm very appreciative of his assistance. So in February, we will see, her name is Miss Pamela Votter. Right now, she also works with the Real Estate Commission with me as well. So she will be handling the legal report portion and any litigation pending for the commission. As regarding legislative updates, did you all receive a copy of my notification of statutory changes? It went out in e-notify a couple of months ago, like maybe June or July, via e-notify. It's okay if you don't remember.
I don't think I got it.
Okay, are you signed up for e-notify?
Yeah, but we have a problem with one of my email addresses, don't we? It has to come to my Gmail address. I have an old
Okay, we'll take a look into that. But essentially, we didn't have too many legislative changes during this session. One of the changes is directly related to a rule amendment I'm going to talk about next, and that was amending the public auctioneer license age. So previously, it required an individual to be 21 years of age, and that was lowered to 18 years of age. So it's 18 years across the board.
I did see that. I apologize.
Oh,
Now
okay.
that you mentioned
Okay,
that, I
no
did
problem.
get it.
At 18 years across the board for all auctioneer licenses. I don't have anything else. The only other things that I provided on the statutory update were just like general information that doesn't specifically apply to this commission, but applies to this department. So I don't see a need to really go over that information. So I'll go after that straight to the rules. You all should have a copy of the red line of the rules on your iPad. It's document 6.
Basically, it's just the one page, isn't it?
Yes. Okay, so you'll see that there are 2 different portions of the document that are listed there. So the first part, we're going to amend Rule 01601-.251A. We're going to be amending that from 21 years of age to 18 years of age. And that's going to mirror the statute. So we'll go ahead and amend that. And then the second provision that you'll see that we're editing is going to be Rule 0160-01-0.252I. So this rule is related also to public automobile auctioneers, but specifically it is an update regarding the public automobile auction license. So currently there's a kind of a confusion that is in the rules regarding what license type is required from the Motor Vehicle Commission for a public automobile auction. So we added in that language that states that the full rule will state the public automobile auction has displayed on its premises a valid motor vehicle dealer license from the Motor Vehicle Commission issued in the individual name of the public automobile auctioneer. So that's going to provide clarification for individuals. They're like, do we get it in the company name? We don't have firms anymore. Also, this probably predates everyone in this room. There was an attorney general opinion that was written in March of 2009 about this specific issue that clarified this particular rule. And I think now would be the good time to fix it and make sure it is clear, as we only have licenses for individuals. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Sir, we will need a motion to adopt the rule change. Do we have such a motion?
Yes, I would make such a motion.
All right, we've got a motion from Mr. Morris. Do we have a second? All right, got a second from Mr. Lowe. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, hearing none, that's approved. And then we will have a rulemaking hearing for these very changes at our next meeting on February the 28th. So that'll give an opportunity for the public to weigh in as well.
That is the goal. I've completed the paperwork that needs to go through. So we plan to have a rulemaking hearing. I don't anticipate it being a very long hearing because we're making these two changes. But of course, as you know, public comment is permitted. And so we'll be here if there are any questions that anyone has for the specific rules. And if there are any questions in the interim from the commissioners, you guys are welcome to contact me too.
All right, that leads us to new business. Before we get to new business, there was one thing I'd like to let you know. Our chairman here, this will be his last meeting. He's since expired, and he's decided to make room for someone else in his stead. So we surely appreciate your service and over the years, and we'll surely miss you too as well. So I'm glad you were able to be here in person on your last day and kind of close out the year in style. He agreed to come on at least one more to help us make quorum, but also just to run through the tape. And so I appreciate you doing that.
Let me off.
We'll probably do that the next meeting. Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But good point. Appreciate the concern for business continuity there. But yeah, next meeting we'll do that and get that done. So we should have I know there's a replacement in the works, so we shouldn't lose a step there either. All right. I think that's it. I think we're ready for adjournment unless you have some comments.
I just wanted to say, if you didn't know, congratulations to Mr. Morris. He was inducted into the TAA Hall of Fame last night. So.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And Randy, I will tell you, it's been a great pleasure working with you, and I've really enjoyed you being on part of the commission and just doing a great job. Commend you for that. And hopefully we'll get him a little plaque or something to commemorate his time on the commission. So if I need to help make that happen, just let me know what I need to do so we can get him that. So just to have something, I'll say, yep, I did it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. I think we're ready, unless we have some more comments. I think we're ready to for new business. Is there any new business or anything that you would like to discuss? I think we got a motion from Mr. Thorpe to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, got a second from the chairman there, and then all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.
14 hours. That's got to be done.